When tourists talk about Australia, they talk about three places to go: the road, the rock, and the reef. This is the road, the Great Ocean Road. It's the road that runs along the southern part of Australia, and the ocean is the Southern Ocean, the Antarctic Ocean.
The coastline here is 1,200 miles long, and it's lined by a 300-foot-high cliff. It's been the site of hundreds of shipwrecks, including that of the Loch Ard.
Hi, we're at the Loch Ard Gorge, and this is the site of the shipwreck of the Loch Ard. It ran aground on a reef just outside this gorge, and of the 52 passengers, only 2 people survived, 2 teens, Eva Carmichael and Tom Pearsley. This is the cave where Tom Pearsley brought Eva Carmichael after the shipwreck. He dragged her body up to the beach and then into this cave where he left her for safety while he went for help.
The newspapers of the day played up Tom's rescue of Eva as a big romantic story. However, that was not in fact the case. Tom and Eva never had a romantic relationship, and in fact, Tom never married or dated Eva, and Eva left Australia shortly thereafter and returned back to England. A short distance down the beach is what used to be called the London Bridge. London Bridge collapsed not long ago. The fact is that the powerful ocean currents and waves here are continuously remaking this particular stretch of the coastline. There is a continual erosion and creation of bridges and arches all along the coast.
The rock formation behind me is the London Bridge. You can see there's no longer a bridge there. What happened was in January 1990, right after a couple crossed over the bridge collapsed entirely into the sea. Now, those people were stranded over there on that rock until a helicopter came by and picked them up and rescued them. By this time, the media were out here and they all wanted to interview the couple. The helicopter landed and the couple scurried away as fast as they could, because although they were married, they weren't married to each other.
This is the most famous stretch of the coast. It's called the 12 Apostles. Now, it didn't always go by the name of the 12 Apostles. The people used to call it hen and chickens or something like that. But the tourist board got hold of it and decided that that wasn't a proper name for a major tourist attraction and changed the name to the 12 Apostles. Today, for sunrises and sunsets, almost every tourist in the neighborhood comes here to snap a photo. Incidentally, one of those columns collapsed a few years ago. There are no longer 12 apostles. One popular way to see the 12 apostles is from the air, specifically helicopter. There was a time when Australia was part of the supercontinent Gondwanaland. In those days, Africa, Australia, India, Antarctica, South America were all joined in one supercontinent, and then they slowly broke apart. Eventually, Australia and Antarctica were the only two that were still joined.
From this point, dinosaurs used to walk to Antarctica.
This is as real as it possibly gets.
Australia still has some animals that are reminiscent of dinosaurs, at least. The dinosaur footprints that were first found were thought to have been those of a giant emu, like this one. Well, this one's not exactly a giant, but take a look at those toes. They look very much like they were dinosaur toes. And nowadays we also know that dinosaurs had feathers, very much like the emu feathers. This is the emu's rainforest cousin, the cassowary. And this next bird is the kookaburra, which you always hear in all the jungle stories.
Pieces of fish.
In this case, no, tonight's only meat. But they'll get that, or they'll get insects, or they'll get a small animal like a day-old chicken or a mouse, depending on the night.
They're big on lizards, aren't they?
In the wild, they're basically an insect-eating bird.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they hawk insects. So if you've got your friend in an aviary big enough, you can put some, big moths in there. You can watch them do it. It's great fun. Can you come down? Just pick you up and put you down. That's the way. Now, would anyone like to give him a feed?
Yeah.
Yep. Come forward. Sure. There you go.
It's a worm, huh?
Yeah, it's just a piece of meat this time.
Didn't
No.
take him very long.
What's really fun is you put your finger up and let him bite you and tell me what it feels like. Be closer.
Delicious.
Oh, he doesn't have any teeth.
Very few birds do.
Yeah. But you'll notice not very strong bite because
Yeah.
basically he just
try
crushes
it. Let's
insect
just- it
bodies.
hurt.
You just gulp
Try it.
it down.
Try it.
I don't stick my finger just now.
What are you doing? Put you down the too? Right? Shush up. Yeah, I know you're pain. I'm pain. Does anyone else want to have a give him a feed? No? Okay. Would you like another go? Do the other one? There we go.
Up in North Queensland, the motel owner where we were staying brought us around behind the motel and showed us what he thought were two owls. But as you can see, these birds are not owls. They are the tawny frogmouth that you saw in the previous clip. In this next shot, it's a little bit more clear that there are, in fact, two birds in the tree, and you can see how difficult it would be to detect these birds during the day. This bird is a bush turkey. It looks an awfully lot like an American turkey, but it's a little bit smaller. Another bird that's interesting is the little penguin. It only stands about 10 inches or a foot tall or so, and it's very susceptible to being taken by predators. So Here we are back at the 12 Apostles, and after the sunset has occurred and most of the photographers have gone home, the little penguins start coming back in. Now they start coming back in and in the dark, because that way they're not exposed to so many hawks and things that could take them off the beach. The little penguins begin by forming what are called rafts, groups of penguins out in the ocean, and then each one of those rafts slowly comes ashore. Now most people don't see the little penguins at the 12 Apostles. Instead, they see them at a location called Philip's Island. Philip's Island is the place that most people go because there's a regular show there that's been set up. Over the course of the evening, thousands of little penguins come in at Philip's Island, and they go to their burrows along the beach, and they make a tremendous noise. In the morning, of course, before dawn, the little penguins will go back out to sea again. Of course, those penguins are adults. Here's a child.
Oh, he's tiny.
This penguin is so young that it's still molting, and until those fluffy little feathers drop off and are completely replaced by the adult feathers, it can't go into the ocean. People have been in this area for a long time, coming as visitors for the most part, and in order to help them get around, there are a series of boardwalks that have been created all throughout where the little penguins have their burrows. In fact, the little penguins sometimes take advantage of that, and this one's parents has built its burrow underneath the boardwalk.
We're in Sherbrooke Forest right now, and we're hot on the trail of the male lyrebird.
This is a female lyrebird, but the male lyrebirds are beginning to put on their performance. It's May, and it's the beginning of their breeding season.
What bird has the most elaborate, the most complex, and the most beautiful song in the world? Well, I guess there are lots of contenders, but this bird must be one of them. The superb lyrebird of Southern Australia.
He clears a space in the forest to serve as his concert platform. To persuade females to come close and admire his plumes, he sings the most complex song he can manage, and he does that by copying the songs of all the other birds he hears around him, such as the kookaburra. It's a very convincing impersonation. Even the original is fooled. He can imitate the calls of at least 20 different species. He also, in his attempt to outsing his rivals, incorporates other sounds that he hears in the forest. That was a camera shutter. And again. And now a camera with a motor drive. That's a car alarm. And now the sounds of foresters and their chainsaws working nearby.